Okay, hello everybody. This is the third attempt at this video. I had a pretty good system on how to do it, but either I hit a wrong button or one of my wonderful children hit the wrong button and shut the mic off. So I uploaded it to YouTube and everything, and then there was no sound. All right, so here we go. Another review, okay? SOHCAHTOA, okay? Sine, cosine, tangent, okay? Sine is opposite over hypotenuse. That's where the acronym comes from. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. Tangent is opposite over adjacent, all right? If it sounds like I'm doing this over and over and over and over and over again, I am, because what we're going to do next, you really need to know the sine, cosine, tangent, okay? So if this is down packed, then the next thing is pretty easy, okay? All right, cosecant, secant, cotangent. All right, these are less likely used, all right, less often used, all right, but they're just the reciprocals. So right above it, instead of opposite over hypotenuse, you got hypotenuse over opposite, hypotenuse over adjacent, adjacent over opposite. I like these here, guys. This is like second nature to me. Like I could do that with my eyes closed, okay? But these other three, I have to like think about it because they're not used very often, and you know they're just not that common. So, you know, like if you're like, man, that's a little confusing. It is, all right, but it'll be okay. All right, so it says name the trig value. I'm just going to use fractions. All right, so tangent is opposite over adjacent. So from this theta guy, all right, this is opposite and this is adjacent. That's hypotenuse. All right, so we don't know opposite, so we got to do the Pythagorean theorem. All right, 5 squared plus x squared equals 13 squared. Okay, so I don't want to call it O because then that's going to look like a 0. It gets confusing. Okay. All right, so square those up, subtract. X squared equals 144. X equals 12. Okay. I'm getting good at this now that I did this like 3 times. All right, so this is 12. So 12 over 5. Okay. All right, sine opposite over hypotenuse. Okay, we don't have hypotenuse, so we got to do Pythagorean theorem. 9 squared plus 12 squared equals h squared. All right, h squared equals 225, so h equals 15. Okay, all right, so 9 over 15, 3 over 5. Okay, all right, cosine, adjacent over hypotenuse. All right, adjacent from theta, that's called theta. From theta, adjacent's right there, hypotenuse right there. All right, so we got to do Pythagorean theorem. All right, but if you look at number 2, it's the exact same triangle. Okay, so instead of doing it again, that's 9. Okay, so 9 over 15, 3 over 5. Okay, all right, cotangent, adjacent over opposite. Where did I get that from? Right there in our notes. Okay, so from theta, this is opposite, this is adjacent, that's hypotenuse. All right, so I'm missing a, okay? So a squared plus 6 squared equals 6 radical 2 squared. Okay, if you use your calculator carefully and have a good calculator, you could put this in your calculator, okay, with the parentheses. All right, if you're like trying to use an iPhone calculator, it's tough because the parentheses get confusing. If you don't square on the outside of the parentheses, it doesn't work. So everything has to be very particular. You have to put the entire thing in parentheses, then hit square. If you guys had, you know, if we were in school, you use like my awesome calculator, it's not even a big deal, okay? All right, in your head though, or not in your head, but like without, you know, like trying to do the whole thing in your calculator, you square the outside, so 6 squared times 2, okay? So this is actually, 6 squared is 36 equals 72. 36 times 2 is 72. All right, so a squared equals 36, a equals 6, okay? So adjacent is 6 over 6, 1, okay? Cosine, adjacent over hypotenuse. Always check the sides of the triangle before you do the Pythagorean theorem, because like this time we got lucky, we didn't have to do the Pythagorean theorem. 4 over 2 root 13, okay, 2 things. First, we got to reduce 2 over radical 13. All right, and now the denominator is illegal. Okay, you can't have a radical. So on top, 2 radical 13 over radical 13 times radical 13 is 13. Okay, if you simplify this first, You should not have to simplify this here, but I never say never, okay? Opposite over hypotenuse. Again, I got lucky, didn't have to do Pythagorean theorem. Okay, guys, so do not think like the problems get harder as you go down the page. They may or may not. Okay, all right, this is just like the above, all right, except there's no pictures. Okay, so it says each triangle ABC, okay, but it says C is the right angle, okay, because that matters. Okay, so now little c is across from big C, so little c equals 5, little a equals 4, okay? If you draw it a different way, it's not gonna matter. This would be here and this would be there, but cosine of A, all right, is adjacent over hypotenuse, okay? I know that's called A, but this is called the adjacent. It gets a little confusing. If you drew it the other way, then your cosine A would be from this angle instead of that angle, okay? All right, so anyway, we need Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus 4 squared equals 5 squared. All right, square them, subtract. A squared equals 9. A equals 3, okay? So 3 over 5, because cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, okay? Secant is actually the reciprocal of number 7, hypotenuse over adjacent, okay? So let's draw the triangle, see if we need Pythagorean theorem or not. Okay, C is 8, A, B is 4, okay? And we want secant of A. So hypotenuse is 8, adjacent is right next to it is 4. I got lucky, didn't need Pythagorean theorem. Guys, somebody asked me a question on Google last week, and I actually sent you like all this workout. I realized I screwed it up, okay? So this is correct, unless I'm not thinking of something, okay? All right. Okay. Tangent 55, okay? Now, if you have a nice calculator that has a screen, what I mean by that is that the word tangent pops up here, okay? Then you could put tangent then 55. If you're trying to use like the generic iPhone calculator, then you have to put 80, then sine, okay? So guys, download a calculator that's not the cheapest thing in the world, okay? They're all free, but find one that's decent, okay? The iPhone calculator kind of, it's not good. It's not good, all right? Okay, feel free to hit pause, rewind. All right, I'm going to post this and a video for a new lesson on how to apply this on Monday morning, all right? This is Easter afternoon when I'm writing this, so I hope everybody has a nice Easter. Do the best you can. Guys, stay out of trouble, stay safe, stay clean, stay healthy.